It's another live episode of the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss podcast. Join us, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss community over on Facebook. I thought I would give you a little tour, if you will, of a new room in my house. It's kind of cool to share a little bit of things about me as you're listening. So again, if you're looking for the live version, head over to the Facebook group, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Community. And there'll be another reason for you to want to join live as we get into today's episode today. Today's episode, honestly, is a conversation that's very near and dear to my heart. It's called Forgiving the Past to Create Your Future. Forgiving the past to create your future. And this is inspired by my own personal journey, as well as the journey of so many of my clients and what I see is holding them back. If you are listening to this podcast on the normal Monday that it comes out, I will have already conducted my live masterclass called The Very Last Stop on Your Weight Loss Journey. And if you were there, you have received a new hypnosis app that I have created that is supporting you in forgiving the past so that you can create your new future. And I'm really excited about this. If you're watching this live, yay, because that means the masterclass has not happened yet. The masterclass is September 18th, 2025. And you can head over to hpwl.info/masterclass. And again, if you attend live, you're going to get free access to my new hypnosis app. And as we go into the episode today, you'll understand how important it will be for you to listen to the hypnosis that I've created for you. So what I want to talk about is something we rarely name, and that is the grief, the shame, the heartbreak of when you invest in something. You invest in something with your time, with your energy, with your money, with your heart that you thought would change your life. A coach, a program, a diet, a supplement, maybe some of the GLP-1s. Especially on our weight loss journeys, we know as long-time dieters, if not lifetime dieters, the amount of times that you felt that immediate high and hope and the amount of time that you felt heartbroken and like a failure that really starts to beat down on your self-esteem. Maybe you've been there. If you're here live, comment below. I've been there. If you have been, I know that I have, and I'm going to share with you intimately around how this has shown up for me in my life. There was a time where I invested in a coach who promised a community of people, of women entrepreneurs that were actually as successful or more successful than I was. And they also promised that they could help to very quickly advance this mission to one of much greater impact, which I'm happy to say is happening now. Stay tuned. I'm so excited. This is about to turn into a movement. It's going to get big, and I can feel it. It's not of me. It's coming through me. And from that specific coach that I hired, that specific thing, I went in full hope and used my same decision-making strategies that I've used before to make that decision. And I was sure that I found the missing piece. Something that I know from a neuroscience perspective is that when you put yourself into a room of other people who are up to the same thing as you, and you are with a coach who has done what you want to do, and through repetition of going over and over again over time, etc., that your mind cannot help but to be rewired. and you can start to create dramatic shifts in your life. I've done this so many times in my life. It's how I got out of diet mentality, has been just me knowing the neuroscience of the brain, having that belief and knowing that I can change my brain. If someone else can do it, so can I. If someone else can do it, so can you. If you get jealous or compare yourself with others, thank your unconscious mind for feeling that way so that you can become aware of what you truly want. It's magical. But then after I made the decision to invest and some months went by, came the silence. Came the silence, the undelivered promises, the mounting debt for me, the panic in my body, the shame of wondering if I had made a huge mistake. And this lasted for months. If it was not for the tools that I have and that I teach to my clients, it could have gotten pretty ugly because I felt my nervous system very much in fear and on high alert and scared, especially as I looked at my finances and at my bank account and not seeing the results that I was wanting to see happening. It was one of the scariest seasons of my life up to this point. And I want to be really honest here, as I said I would be. When I hired that coach and I made that big decision to change, I also made a lot of abrupt changes in my own program. And honestly, it affected a lot of my clients. And that was a really painful thing to face because my heart has always been to serve at the highest level. I am a woman of faith, and from a long time ago, back when I first started to become an entrepreneur, or when I was an entrepreneur full time, that was in 2015. I was into meditation at the time and was deep in meditation, but also grew up Catholic and have a faith in God. Like, I remember on my meditation mat laying down and just asking, please use me. Please use me. I want to be part of the mission. Like, I don't know what this life is about for me. It's not about me. Just use me. Use me however you want to use me. Like, I'm willing. It's always been that way. And even I've done, different inventories or looking to see in my own finances, like where my money goes. All of my money outside of my survival needs go towards this mission. But when I hired this coach and I was out to transform quickly, I started changing those habits. I actually started investing in things that weren't necessary, that were self-indulgent, that trying to make my dreams come true faster. Not from any type of, trying to do the wrong thing. I was trying to be coachable and do what I needed to do to make the mission go faster. And so over time, with the clients that it affected, I restored integrity in those relationships. But part of this journey has been forgiving myself for that season. It taught me the deep value of establishing trust and consistency with others. And it reminded me I will never be perfect, but that's part of this work. That's part of the journey my clients need to go on, because perfectionism is very deeply related with dieting. None of us will ever be perfect, but what we can do is learn to trust ourselves and trust every decision we make, even if it looks like a hot mess after we make it, and choose to use everything that's happened as a way to learn more about who we are, what we value, and how we want to lead in our lives, lead with our families, lead at work. So part of my healing was literally using hypnosis, closing my eyes, seeing the faces of each client, and saying in my mind's if you will. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Some of them I actually had the opportunity to have those actual conversations with, and something really powerful happened. The guilt dissolved, and all that remained was love. A really transformational piece of that for me was I was in meditation and praying, asking to please help me forgive myself. And what I became aware of in that moment when I was imagining these people's faces in front of me was how myself specifically, if another human being in my life makes a mistake and they ask for forgiveness, I forgive them immediately. I forgive them immediately. I own anything that there is for me to own about the scenario. And what I said to myself was, how come I don't offer myself that same level of forgiveness that I offer to other people? And that really was a turning point in that. Because the truth is, I was never trying to hurt anyone. I don't believe anybody is, well, there's certain people in the world who might be, but nobody's actually going out there saying, I'm going to wake up and hurt people today. That's not my intention. It's not your intention. I was trying to rise. I was trying to rise for the right reasons. I always have you in mind. I always know that I lead the way. And I saw that clients had even financial up levels or challenges or fears and scarcities and lacks they needed to face. And so it's like, I need to face these fears for them. That's just the way my mind works, since I know that it was still a challenge for me. And that's something to honor. It's something to honor, not to shame. And so looking back now, I see how that painful experience was one of the greatest gifts to my life. It continues to be. It forced me to stop molding myself into someone else's blueprint of success and starting to trust myself. And you know what? That's exactly why I hired that coach and did that program, because I knew that there was a relationship between what happened to me around food, body, and weight and what happened to me and like my experience with money as well. My whole life, I was trying to follow the diet and follow the plan and do what everybody else said was the thing to do for optimal and ultimate health and trying to perfect it. But it did not work, and everything fell to pieces for me to finally realize that the only way I was going to find lasting change when it came to weight loss was when I actually got to the deep truth of who I am and how I like to eat and what I want, and also that deep relationship with my emotions, because feeling those emotions were the access to knowing my truth that did not include other people's fears or other people's projections on, what's the right or wrong thing to do. And so I saw this same thing. This has been the gift that keeps on giving, because I was forced to take radical responsibility of this transformation that I provide for people, and get so much closer to myself. That has allowed me to provide the service, and it is getting better and better. Again, I'm super excited about everything that's coming out of it. So yeah, it helped me start to trust myself and not follow this blueprint of what success should look like or what that means, and recognize, like, I don't care about fancy, whatever. I appreciate good and nice experiences, but it's more about experiences. It's less about things. Yeah, but I couldn't learn some of those things if I didn't learn it. I got really clear about finances, and radically improved my education about finances. I also learned more about my mental health and about what was actually in the way that had me make impulsive changes like that. just so many things. So while it looked on the outside like this was the worst thing that happened, and I'll invite you to think in a moment about some of these, maybe the last time a diet burned you, or for me, I followed Bright Line Eating. It was a food addiction program, and there were so many good things that I got from that, but I cursed it, and I still have, strong considerations that I want the world to consider as they embark on anything like that, of knowing how it wires the mind and knowing the huge challenge that it took for me to rewire my mind out of that food addiction program. But the point is again, going back to trusting every decision that we make. And where I see my clients get held back is when they are still angry at themselves or at the previous program or at the coach or at the client or at the pill or the potion that failed them. They're still mad at themselves. They're still mad at their bodies. They're still mad at the food, and they're still at war with those things. And if this resonates with you, if you're here live, just type amen in the chat, because I see it all the time. Like when we talk about self-sabotage, most likely it's because there's some of that self-anger or hatred or resentment for what's happened or what isn't happening or whatever's going on. And yeah, I'm excited to just keep this conversation going because it's just so huge. So it showed me that I'm a good person. It showed me that I care. It showed me that certain people can see my goodness no matter what, even if my humanness comes out, even if mistakes that I make are made. I talked about this on a recent podcast episode. There's a Netflix show out that's going back to The Biggest Loser, that popular show that was on for several seasons that America was really into at the time. And it helped me because it showed me that when they were interviewing the people who were on The Biggest Loser, they were challenging themselves to lose the most weight on that program. Each of them had a different take on that season of their life. Some of them said, we're taking radical responsibility and saying, it taught me this, it taught me that, they gave me this, they gave me that contributed to my life path like this and like that. And you could tell that they were just well-rounded about the whole thing and accepting and had peace. And there were still certain people who were still angry and still upset about what they didn't know at the time and felt all of these different things and all that kind of stuff. It was probably like 5 different participants, and all of their experiences when asked about it was completely different. And one of the hardest things for me as a leader of this work is the fact that I can't control people and how their experiences are after. I can only control my side of the street. And it's so important to not have that hold me back from continuing to focus on the mission and to focus on the people and the countless amounts of people who thank me for making this program. And it just happened today, and just focusing on that and knowing that regardless of what someone's experience is of the program or of me, that God, the universe, is always involved in people's transformations, and to trust themselves. And obviously one of my jobs is to also help my clients start to experience themselves in every decision they make, food decisions and beyond, in a beautiful, empowered light, because life just works better that way. But here's the thing, even if you get what I'm saying on a conscious level, I just want to get to a place of forgiveness. I want to be able to forgive myself. I want to be able to forgive others. I want to move on. I want to create again. But how? That's the best place to be. And like I was saying in the beginning of this podcast, I've created a new app that's free, that's actually going to support your unconscious mind to forgive, because it's easier said than done just to say I forgive. It's like, does your body actually forgive though? Like, are you actually receiving new results? Are you actually still taking action towards your health? Or are you in a state of feeling resigned? and angry and resentful. So congrats to all those who came live, and maybe more of a reason to join the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Facebook community so you can watch these lives for any of those bonuses. Make sure you don't miss them. But if you're watching live and you want that app to help you with forgiveness from any of the stuff in the past, any of the diets, any of the situations, if you can relate to my story at all, to just be able to, truly forgive and move on and create your next chapter, and also begin to see the blessings in it, even if they were unexpected or not what you were expecting. There are blessings in everything. We just have to work on getting out of the fear, scarcity, lack, and judgment on others, on ourselves, on the situation, because what we see is not always the same of what's actually happening for you underneath the surface. So, you can do this too. You can learn how to forgive yourself in the same way. So, something that's helped me, again, rebuild this and understanding this is what I'm saying, that faith doesn't decide what you see. Faith decides what you choose to believe. And personally, feel free to steal this, is I choose to believe that the universe is kind. It took me a long time to get that. I've had coaches who modeled that for me until it became my own. Choose to believe that safety is in the present moment. And I choose to believe that I am safe and supported when I make decisions that feel aligned for me in the moment, that is the right decision for me. So even though my conscious mind can go back to that previous thing that I invested my time and energy and effort into, it's because I believe that every decision I make is the right decision. It forces me to then, not stay in anger, not stay in upset, but rather take a look at what were the blessings and what growth happened as the results, and how is that perfect and perfection. And truly it was. And all of your diets, consider, are the same. Everything that you've done in the past, every single thing. And the other thing to understand is that we actually aren't in control of our lives. We're not in control of the timing of things in our lives. We like to feel in control of everything. So, for example, sometimes my clients will get really attached to, like, when will I lose the weight? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And it's like, the truth is, we don't know. I don't know. But that's part of the problem, is because our minds are just constantly trying to control, trying to control and find the answers. Yeah, and that's the hardest thing for us to do. I was just coaching a client today who is, on her journey to weight loss. She just made the decision to keep going after her initial program. And she's like, how do I stay in the mentality of not dieting, but still know that I'm on the course of losing weight? It's like, well, we don't know for sure what's going to happen, but we can know for sure that whatever way of eating that you feel aligned with, based on this place of trusting every decision that you make from alignment, that it's going to bring you exactly where you need to go. Now, for her, she's like, I feel aligned that I want to just eat 3 meals a day and not be snacking throughout the day. Okay, amazing, great. And so I said, so what you can do is kind of do a quick check with yourself and be like, now, as I'm eating in alignment with myself, do I feel that weight loss is inevitable? And she's like, yeah, I do believe that. I'm like, great. So now let go of the attachment to their when is it going to happen and how is it going to happen and all of the rules and the points and the calories and the carbs and that's the stuff that keeps us trapped. So it's like, let it go and then focus on doing what feels aligned for you right now. And I guide my clients specifically through all of this. And everybody's journey is individualized and different. Part of the problem is we're trying to follow somebody else's blueprint for success. And that's why we're never finding happiness truly that lasts. We're not finding permanent weight loss. So these are the things that I believe. The universe is kind, that I can trust my energy, that what feels good and aligned decisions lead me to the right place, even if it looks completely the opposite. That I'm safe and supported in the present moment. And when I act in alignment with what I need next and I take action on what I know that I need next, that everything continues to happen for me as it should. It can be challenging to keep that going, but everything that we believe is what occurs. So you could believe that the universe is not safe, that you're not supported in what you need next, and that the world is a scary place and people can't be trusted and you can't be trusted, but then that's going to be the reality that you live in. And you get to choose. You get to choose. And, following high performers and successful people for a long time, this is the mindset they have. They have self-belief. They have self-trust. They quickly can dust off their knees and find the lessons and move on. And that gets to be your reality too, if you choose to have it be that way. So when I'm hurt or I'm afraid, I remind myself, this is what I see, this is what I feel, but I know what I actually believe, and I turn towards that. So, you might see the scale going up and wondering, how is this all going to work out? How am I going to get out of this terrible situation? When is it going to stop? But many spiritual traditions agree on this principle that your needs will be provided for, including your health, when you walk in trust. Whether that's Christianity, teaching that our needs are met through divine abundance, Buddhism, teaching that peace comes from trusting the present moment, or Hinduism, teaching you that dharma, or your right path, will always be supported. So I can get down with all of those different belief systems, and it's all pointing back to that you're safe in the present moment and when you're making aligned decisions, and it's just our job to keep looking for that. And when you feel shame, though, about the past, shame about past decisions you've made or not made, and you don't have to carry that shame, and carrying that shame is what holds you back. I had a client who joined the program several months ago now, and she's like, I realized this, like, from coming to this master class, that shame has been the thing in the way for me. And she saw it, and she made an active decision to do the opposite, join the program, got free. So it's possible for you as well. And there's other spiritual paths that teach other things that are helpful, that you're made new, that the past is gone and the future is fresh, and you can begin again right now. You can begin again. You can begin again. That can be so challenging, to come from nothing and recognize that no matter what has happened in the past, you can begin again. And the sooner that you can get that and do what you need to do to begin again, that's when you can keep receiving the gifts, get back onto your path of what's meant for you. And that's exciting. So, and then when fear rises, you have to remember that fear is not your essence. So while I was going through that time and feeling that fear and scarcity and all that kind of stuff, I knew what was going on because of what I teach in my programs, just around emotions, around fear, and knowing that fear is just false evidence appearing real. I saw the thoughts. It's important to see them and feel them, not to avoid them, recognize them, but remember that fear is not my essence. That we're created with love and power and a steady mind. And so not to anchor yourself in what you see, but anchor yourself in what you believe. And maybe it's a good time, if you're not aware, to really ask yourself what you do believe. 95% of the results that you get in life is based on what you believe. And so if you don't have some of these belief systems going on for you, getting coaching on it and looking at it and asking how is it serving you to not believe that every decision you make is right, and to not believe that the universe is safe and kind and has your back. How is that serving you? And if it's not, if you're ready to let it go and start to believe that everything's happening for you, then join me on that ride because it's cool. I recommend it. It's not always easy, but the tools help. So neuroscience also shows us that this isn't just poetic of the universe is safe and kind and you can go with the flow. It's actually really powerful because your brain literally builds new neural pathways around whatever you believe is possible. Belief rewires the brain. It wasn't until I saw that there was a woman who was a graduate of a food addiction program who used to be extremely bulimic and, really disordered eating and eating patterns and mental thoughts and food noise. It wasn't until I saw that she now lived a completely normal life without any of that I knew it was possible. Once I saw that it was possible in someone else, since I have a belief system that if she can do it, I can do it too, I just have to learn how. That's how my whole life has happened. But you have to take action on it. You have to follow it. You have to, say yes again and do the scary thing again, even if you have that challenge in the way of feeling jaded and upset and resentful and angry. So this is why hypnosis is so powerful. It helps your mind let go of the old beliefs and build new ones that actually support your success. I made a new hypnosis in my accelerator program. I teach clients how to actually make their own hypnosis. And obviously when I'm certifying people in hypnosis, teaching them how to make hypnosis scripts, which, by the way, with our new AI, I have seen the hypnosis the AI does, and it's not following how the unconscious mind actually receives information. So, just a little side note there. That there's a real science in how you communicate with the unconscious mind. I did a hypnosis for myself, though, and it was just so cool. Right after I came out of the hypnosis, to literally see exactly what the hypnosis, it was already happening in real time, but our brains cause us to not see it. It's just wild. So anyway, here's the catch. You must take action first. Then the belief strengthens. You don't wait to believe, you act, and belief grows from the action. There's different metaphors just around the importance of you acting first. I mean, we've all heard you need to meet the universe halfway. You need to, it's not everything's just going to come by you sitting and waiting. It's you actually need to take action. And again, that not forgiving your past or anything that's causing anger or resentment, consider is in the way of you receiving all the gifts that are meant for to be yours. There's so many things, not promoting any kind of religion or anything like that, but just looking at Jesus from a historical standpoint. Before he created miracles, he would command that person to act. So I think it was the man couldn't walk, and he was pick up your mat and walk. There's still the command, you need to do something first. He wasn't just walk because I healed you. He's pick up your mat. There was a blind man, and he put dirt on his eyes, and then he said something about go to whatever body of water and bathe in it, and you will see. You must act first, and then you can receive the miracles. This is why I'm so passionate about people acting. And this is why in the beginning of the podcast, I say, you have to face your fears. You have to ask for help. You have to make a change. I'm asking you to act first so you can meet whatever miracle that is there for you to receive, regardless of whatever that is. It's just whatever you feel called to, and not letting those considerations get in the way. So what's cool about that is you also get to take ownership for whatever you receive, because you're the one who had to act. So for example, my clients will sometimes be singing my praises and say like, you're the one and thank you so much and you're the one. And it's like, yeah, but you're the one who said yes. Like, you're the one who booked the call, you're the one who followed the energy, you're the one who did the work. Like yeah, I am also the one who decided to start a podcast and who decided to face a lot of fears and leave nursing and listen to my inner truth that I needed to help the world see what was possible when they access the unconscious mind. So it's a co-creation, and that's why I'm so grateful and find the miracle so cool. And I'm just still so grateful for all my clients, current and past, and for them taking that action for themselves. And I just also want them to know that their trust and their investment in themselves ends up being to help you, to help those of you who are still waiting to hear the call, and to this bigger mission of there being more love and more truth and more peace and more hope and more energy and action and health in the world. So just thank you for that. And yeah, so you have to take the action first. There's all those different examples, and this journey is no different. This journey to get to the root cause and heal what's actually underneath your lifelong challenges around food, body, and weight, it is a journey of faith. You can't know, but you have to throw your hat over the wall at some point and just make the decision to jump. And faith says, I'll show you my commitment and trust you to show me your faithfulness. And there begins the journey of looking for what are the gifts, what are the blessings, what's happening that's different than what I expected. I expected something completely different from choosing to say yes to that coach that I hired. And what I got gave me so many gifts, even though my fear thoughts told me otherwise. It told me so many gifts, so many gifts. So you have to listen to that quiet call inside and act even before you see results. It's scary. You can tell your risk aversion. I can't remember where I heard this, but think back to when you were a little kid and any risks that you were to take. So say there was like a small cliff or something for you to jump off and into the water on, and like, how were you about jumping off that rock into the water? Like, were you just like so brave and you're like, woo, and you just jumped off the rock into the water? Or did people have to like coach you for an hour and then maybe you still didn't jump? Like, that just shows how you're going to be around taking that first action to meet life halfway. And so the opportunity is to scare yourself into taking quicker action if you know that you as a little kid were really hard to coax. So I was the opposite. I was just quick to jump and still love cliff jumping into the water as long as I know it's safe, which that's my thing to also be mindful of and overcome, is like, I'll only do it if I know it's safe or someone else has gone first versus just completely going for it. Thank you, because I'm like renewing that awareness in my mind. But just getting that for yourself, like, how quickly did you jump? And knowing that your transformation is on the opposite side of, jumping in a different way than what it was like for you as a kid. Isn't that fun? I love this work. So you have to jump before you even know that there's what the results are going to be sometimes. And your journey is unique and different. You can't compare your journey to anybody else's, because we don't know what the universe has planned for you. We don't know what God or, right, whatever your point of your dharma is. We don't know exactly. But how sad would it be to not get to find out because you're playing it safe and staying small and doing the same old, same old. So we want to join other people who are doing the same. You want to stand shoulder to shoulder with other people who are on that same journey, who are choosing to rise above diet culture and actually heal this dynamic in their life, their relationship in their life, and create something different and know that you can. So, question for you, what action do you know that you need to take first? What are you not doing that you're being asked to do because you're waiting until you have all the information? Because you want to make sure you're safe first and then. And challenge to take that action first. And let's see where it takes you. Let's see what wants to come in. But until you take that first action, you cannot receive anything. It's not just going to come. So I'm genuinely excited because I'm making this program, this entire transformation, more accessible to more people who are ready for this change. And when you come to my live masterclass, if you haven't missed it and you're watching this before September 18th, 2025, again, you'll get free access to my new Hypnosis app that's going to be hypnosis around forgiving the past and creating a new future when it comes to diet mentality. It's a game changer. And yeah, to help you forgive all the past diets and experience the power of hypnosis for yourself. There'll be some brief instructions on how to take advantage of that. Because the truth is that anger and resentment and lack of forgiveness are some of the biggest things that keep us stuck. Not just in diet cycles, but in life. So we think we're being strong by holding on, but holding out on blocks, holding only blocks us from the miracles that are coming in. And when you let go and you take the leap, you create space for something new to arrive. So if this resonates with you, if you feel that pull to let go of what's behind you and finally step into that new version of you who is calm and powerful and free, then come join me inside my upcoming masterclass, the very last stop on your weight loss journey. We're going to gently clear out the old patterns and give you tools to rewire your mind so food becomes quiet, your body feels safe, and you can lead your life from peace again. So go ahead and save your spot, hpwl.info/masterclass. That link is in the comments below. And let's create your new beautiful future together. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Ready to finally break free from the diet hamster wheel and create lasting transformation? I've put together a free hypnosis training just for you, where I break down why diets keep failing, the mindset shifts you need to stop the cycle, and how to rewire your subconscious for true effortless change. Text the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483 and I'll send it to you instantly. You don't have to keep struggling. Real freedom starts now. Take the first step. Text the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483.